All right, I'm Nancy from Nancy Inspired, and I have a gift that I call soul telepathy. I call it that because I'm able to hear what your own soul is trying to tell you. When I do individual readings, I dive into what's going on for you. When I do collectives like this, I tap into what is the most important messaging for everybody here at this moment in time. And I start off doing a collective, and then afterwards I take individual names for trying to tap into for individuals. Don't put your name in yet because it'll get lost in the chat. I'll let you know when I'm ready. So first of all, last week we had a little bit of a weird thing. And so this week we're going to do something a little bit different because last week I had some interesting energy try to pop into this group, which I've never had before. It's always such a beautiful, amazing, loving group. But last week, yeah, there was a little bit of weird energy. And to be honest, afterwards, after clearing that away, I was tired. So we're going to do something different. I've learned some things. I've done some practicing. And we're going to, when I connect to you, I'm going to also do a little protection as well so that nothing is accessible in this group. All right. I'm going to ask permission. So can I, may, and shall I do a reading for my Insight Timer friends and family? And I'm getting a yes. Is there any reason why I shouldn't at this moment in time? Nope. Then I ask that everybody's intuition be raised to the highest level that they can accommodate with at this moment in time. Allow their souls to speak freely and clearly for their highest and best good. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of just a cleansing, clearing, and protecting. So I'm just going to ask that we cleanse, clear, and protect this space and this energy. And anything that does not serve us or is not welcome is not, this space is not available. So I'm going to cleanse, clear, and balance hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits on all levels for our highest and best good. All right, and now I invoke my bubble of protection, and we're good. All right, so I'm going to tap in with some messaging for the group first, and then we'll go into some individual messaging. So take a quick sip of water. It's actually very hot here today. All right. Okay, let me just see, the chat's been going, so let me just see what's going on. All right, everything's good. Sound okay. Good morning, beautiful soul family. Hope everyone is well. Great to be here with you all again. Lovely. Good morning, Alicia. It's so neat how it's like good evening to Adorni and good morning to Alicia. And yeah, Ginger, I don't know if I'd call it a troll. There was somebody who had some ill intent and was trying to kind of mess with the energy of the group, but we removed it and all good. Not going to happen again. I don't know, Adorni, what you're saying. Past during the week. I'm not sure what that is. All right, and hello from Florida. Hello, Yovita. Yovita's helped me a lot with doing some clearing stuff. You were thinking about it a few times this week. I hope it didn't worry you, Melinda. I just wanted to, you know what? It's evolution, right? As you get after that day. No, it passed. After that day, Adorni, the energy did not come back, but I did feel like I was working. Like I could feel the energy I was outputting to create that protection. And so I was a little tired, but it didn't come back, and it hasn't come back since. I very clearly stated it's not welcome, and it's not welcome. So it is gone. I hope it didn't make anyone uncomfortable. All right, here we go. Let's get started with some messaging. All right. Let me hear what I hear for the group. Okay, interesting. All right, so what I got was like, probably because the other day when it was raining, my my granddaughter was kind of jumping from puddle to puddle. And this is what I got, was kind of like jumping from one puddle and then into another puddle. And as I was trying to piece out what does that image mean, what I'm getting is that our perception of time is not, our perception of time is linear, but time is not actually linear. And that we move from moment to moment to moment to moment. And we can choose which moments we are going to splash down into. What moments are we going to connect with? What moments are we going to kind of sit in? Just as a little example, I'm hearing, we've all experienced that time where, especially driving, if you're on autopilot and you're driving home from work, and it's like all of a sudden you're much further ahead than you realize, and it's like, well, how did I get here? Because you're on autopilot, right? You're just going. So we can choose what we want to focus on. And what we choose to focus on, right, is where our energy is landing. So just like, puddle jumping, when my granddaughter is jumping in puddles, she's creating a splash in that particular moment. And then she jumps in, creates another splash. So we can choose what moments we want to center ourselves in. And in any given moment, we're given multiple moments. So right now, in this very moment, we could be focused on, hearing my voice and the feelings that go along with it. Or I could decide to be focused on the tree outside. Or maybe I could decide to be focused on some kind of flaw in my face, since I get to look at myself while I'm doing these lives. We can choose what we're going to focus our energy on. We can choose which puddles we're going to jump in. And if we're choosing to constantly jump into, the focusing on the flaws on my face, then I'm going to start noticing more and more the flaws in my face. Whereas if I'm focusing on the energy that I'm feeling as I'm connecting to all of you, or as I'm focusing on the energy I'm feeling as I'm receiving messages, I'm going to be living in that space more. The more we choose the spaces, the time and space that we live in, hold space in, connect to, the more we choose what our life is like. Now, there's obviously things that happen in our lives that are kind of beyond our control, but we are always in control of how we choose to deal with them. We can choose how we're going to move forward with things. Now, I'm not talking about false positivity where like, no, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay, when really you're not. Sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, I'm really not okay right now. I'm going to go take a minute. I'm going to go have a shower. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to have a nap. I'm going to talk to a friend. I'm going to whatever, because I'm really not okay right now. But then after we've had a chance to kind of, regroup, then we can choose what we're going to focus our energy onto, right? So I just got the image as I was talking now of like hamster in a wheel, right? If we are just focusing on cyclical okay, I understand. Okay, I just got the two images together, the hamster wheel and the puddle jumping. So, okay, beautiful images. Now I understand. So our thoughts are often repetitive, right? Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I don't really like my job. Oh, I'm unhappy in my relationship. Da 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 da. And those thoughts keep circling and circling and circling and circling and circling. That's the hamster wheel. So we can stay in that time of circling and circling and circling with those same thoughts, right? Or we can choose to sort of transcend time and space and puddle jump from joyful moment to joyful moment to joyful moment. There's still the hamster wheel. We still might not like our job or our relationship or our financial situation or whatever it is that's stressing us out, but we can choose to hop off of that wheel and puddle jump and be like, okay, right now I'm in this moment. I'm in this moment with my beautiful Insight Timer friends and family, taking in messaging from divine source. I can feel that beautiful white light as it's, transcending down upon me. And I can choose to puddle jump into that moment and not be on the hamster wheel for a little while. I can always hop back on the hamster wheel if I want to. But what I'm hearing is the more that you puddle jump into the time and space where we can connect to those higher vibrational thoughts, feelings, and thinking patterns and energetic patterns, we can connect that. We're not going to want to go back on the hamster wheel. And it's okay to problem solve, like if you're thinking about financial situation, well, what's a little step that I can do? Okay, then I'm also just got that's also puddle jumping. So instead of being on the hamster wheel going, oh, da 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 da, the debt and the da 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 da, whatever it is that you're worried about, it's about puddle jumping. Okay, right now I'm puddle jumping into this present moment where I'm calm and peaceful and wonderful. Now I'm going to visualize puddle jumping into a scenario that what do I need next in order to get to the next puddle, the space that I want to be in, right? And allowing yourself not to worry about how you're getting there. All the individual steps don't really matter. It's jumping into that other puddle, because how you get there, when I watch my granddaughter go from puddle to puddle, it's not linear. She's not like this puddle to this puddle. It's this puddle and then, oh, there's a worm and there's some things and then poosh back into that puddle and then this puddle. And that's what we're being guided to do, in that remove ourselves from that hamster wheel of the continuous thoughts and continuous worries and continuous da 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 da, and puddle jump into the realities that we actually want to internalize, the realities that are serving us. And those realities, just like puddles, I've got a little sense of humor going on here, just like puddles can be really deep or really shallow, right? You can jump into a puddle and get lost in that experience and be like, oh, this is a wonderful experience, and blah, 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 and what I call snapshot moments, where you internalize all the thoughts and feelings and energies of that moment, right? And you can kind of lose yourself in that moment. Or maybe it's a surface puddle jump. Maybe it's just I need to just change my perspective right now because I'm ruminating, I'm worrying. So I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea and I'm going to focus and be mindful in that moment. So this is what I'm hearing in terms of that time not being as linear as we believe, and can extend. That's what I'm hearing. It can extend. Sorry, I just have to close the door because I was watching a show and I find any kind of television or movies type things actually interferes with the messaging ways. Sorry, I was on time. Right, okay. So as we are jumping from one puddle to the next, it's also like the Matrix movie where like time sort of slows down, or what you see in the movies where it's like go, 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 and then woo, slow, and then go, 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 go. So you can take a moment if you are stressed and ruminating. Maybe it's work and you're worried about work or a project or a deadline and gotta get it done. And then for 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 minutes, you take a sip of tea and you just internalize all the feelings of what that tea, I love tea, tastes like, smells like, feels like, as it goes in, what it does, and you take that 1 minute, right? All of a sudden you've just warp time from being this rat race to slowing down, and just recognizing that our concept of time, our perception of time, is not nearly as linear as it seems, and that we can choose where we're going to, which puddles we're going to jump into. We're going to choose which ones that we're going to connect with. And if you don't like that puddle that you're connecting with, there's another one right over there. You can jump into that puddle that you're connecting with. And it can be instantaneous, right? You can be focusing on the flaws on your face, or right away before the breath is over, you can be focusing on the energy of the room or the pleasant smell of the lilac bush that's outside or whatever. You can switch, so we can jump from puddle to puddle and change our perspective. And the more that we are in control of where we are spending our time and energy, which puddle we are jumping in, the more we are in control of that, the more we get to choose not to get lost down a rabbit hole of hamster wheel, a rabbit hole of of ruminating on lower vibrational thoughts and frequencies. And it takes practice. It takes practice to recognize that you can hop off the hamster wheel anytime. And it's funny because as I'm thinking, it's easy to say, but when you're on that hamster wheel, it's moving fast and it's going. And if we just try to jump off, it's like, oh, I could hurt ourselves, right? But what this is saying is that it's so instantaneous that it's like, I'm here, no, I'm here. I'm thinking about this, no, I'm thinking about this. And I just heard, as a reminder, as an analogy for us, is when we're meditating. Unless you are an expert meditator, not that that actually really exists, but okay, if somebody is like very, very well practiced in meditation, they're able to totally calm and collect their mind. There are going to be little thoughts that randomly pop in, and you are in the middle of it, okay, I'm really great, okay, I'm meditating. Oh, no thoughts. That was a thought. Oh, that was a thought. Okay, boom. And how quickly those thoughts can come in are just as quickly as thoughts can leave. So just as quickly, I'm going to rephrase that, just as quickly as thoughts can come in when you're trying to clear your mind and meditate, that's just how quickly you can change your thoughts when you're focused on something. So if there's something that you're focused on that you don't want to be focused on because it's bringing you down, right? I'm not saying ignore it, but it's like, okay, give myself some time. Is there anything I can do about that? Nope. Now I'm going to switch my thought. I'm going to think about something else. And maybe it is something like hyperfocus. I'm going to look at my little branch stick here and just going to look at that for a second, because while I'm focusing on that, I'm not thinking about that painful thing. And you can switch your thoughts just like that. The same amount of speed it takes to have thoughts interfere with your thoughts is just the same amount of time as you can switch your thoughts. It's instantaneous. So even though it's on the hamster wheel, it's like teleportation. You can teleport yourself right off that hamster wheel into a different puddle. So puddle jumping. I like that message. That's a good one. All right, I'm gonna just read the chat here. Lots of people resonating with time. Yes. Time has been tricky. Yes. Choose our focus with intention. I picture a bird delighting in a bath in the puddle. Absolutely. Exactly. Puddles can be, well, I just watched my granddaughter and the amount that she loves puddles. I actually picked her up from daycare the other day, and I sat with my car door open with the umbrella over me, and she just jumped from puddle to puddle to puddle, and I just sat and watched her. It was pretty amazing. Love this. Exactly how I live my life and healed my body all through thoughts and feelings, embodying the life I want. Like quantum shifting. Absolutely. And then into the now, and then the universe delivers that life to you. That is wonderful. Alicia, I haven't practiced that, but definitely I've been hearing about that more and more, and I definitely understand the messaging right now as being exactly that. That's so helpful to me right now. I've been dwelling on the mistakes I made in relationships in the past. Oh my goodness, I do the same. Using too much of my time this way. I need to jump in some more of the joyful puddles instead of guilt. 100%. It's so easy for us to get caught into, oh, I could have, or I should have, or what if, or, and we could stay in those puddles, or we could jump into another place because it's instantaneous what we want to focus on. This is so relevant for me right now. Can't stop thinking about your ex. Absolutely, Maggie. 100%. This is for you. This is for everybody. It's like if you don't like where your mind is sitting, move it out. And you might have to move it out 50 times, just like meditating, right? When I think about when I meditate, I'm sitting there, everything's great, everything's quiet, my mind is quiet, and then boom, I'm starting to think about my day. Nope, we're just going to shuffle that along. And then we're back. And so it's practice. It's just practice. But the more times we choose what we're going to focus on, the easier, better, and quicker it gets that we're able to do that. All right. Fabulous. Let's move on to another bit of messaging. After a little sip of water. Maggie, I'm thinking of a guy I let down 30 years ago. Oh, Emily, I hear ya. I sometimes think about that. There were a time in my life where I had a choice. And I could have chose this, or I could have chose this. Well, I chose this, and that was not the right choice. But actually, who am I to say? Right choice, wrong choice. It was a choice, and I learned from it. All right. What do you suppose brings about a feeling of not being a part of this world? I have a deep longing for home, but not sure where home is. I feel like I'm from a different time and space, not part of this realm. Oh, interesting. Dee Dee, I have had that feeling before. What you're explaining is the first concepts of quantum shifting timelines. Alicia, I'm going to have to look up quantum shift. I've done a little bit of reading on that, but I haven't. Loved that message. Been blamed in the past when having been able to shift. This reclaim being allowed to shift, jump to another puddle. Fabulous. I love how the messages come through and your analogies to go along with them. I get told what to tell you. It's like, tell them this story. Yes. All right. And yeah, Dee Dee, I was going to say, I think, okay, I'm just going to tap in. Is this messaging for everybody? Yes. Okay. I thought so. When you asked your question, I actually thought this is messaging for everybody. So our next bit of messaging, okay, is that everybody vibrates at a different vibrational frequency at any given time, right? So you can have somebody that is their regular vibration is at a higher frequency than mass consciousness, or you have someone who regularly vibrates at a lower frequency than mass consciousness. We can't maintain that high vibrational frequency all the time because we are in this human body, and humans need to ebb and flow with the vibrational energy that is around us. However, there are a number of us, and I'm putting myself in this, and many of the people that I have met on Insight Timer also seem to be this way. So I'm going to make a generalization that often, and especially right now, global mass consciousness is at a low. It's at an all-time low, global mass consciousness. There is a lot of negativity. There's a lot of pain and suffering. There's a lot of greed, like a lot of hatred and disparaging thoughts. Those are all, we're at an all-time low in terms of vibrational energy. If you're someone that vibrates at a high vibrational energy and a high vibrational frequency, you're going to not feel like you fit into this realm. However, there's also the aspect that many people are becoming awakened. Many people are becoming connected to that higher vibrational energy, that divine love energy, that collective wisdom, collective consciousness. And so more and more people are elevating. So there's creating this shift. So when you are not feeling like you are connected, try to find those people like this group here right now in this time and space. Everyone's here because they want a higher vibrational energy, are working towards a higher vibrational energy. As we connect and integrate with others with that higher vibrational energy, we are going to feel more at home, because like attracts like. We are connected. We are all resonate at the same place. So think of it as, this is my experience. This is the example I'm getting to give, is if you walk into a gathering and everybody's been there for a while and they're doing a certain thing, and you come in at a different time in a different place, you're going to feel like you don't quite fit, simply because you're not resonating at the same frequency that everyone else is at that time. Whereas if you've been there the whole time, you would feel more at home in that situation, right? So recognizing then that anytime you are feeling like you are not vibrating at the same frequency as those around you or where you need to be, you kind of have two choices. Actually, I just heard three choices. So one is that you can dim your vibrational frequency so that you can feel like you are connecting where you need to connect. I find I do that at work sometimes. When I go to work, I do have to kind of dim my vibrational frequency a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, just to, be able to manage in that setting. Or you can remove yourself from that vibrational energy and find higher vibrational energy, even if it's just going out to nature. I have plants all over my office so that I can go into my office and elevate my energy when I need to. And the other one I just heard is that same puddle jumping. You can, in your mind, connect. Where's home? And allow yourself to connect and trust where you connect. That's what I just heard. So allow me to go home. Take me home. Whatever that concept of home is for you, by simply asking yourself, your higher self, to do that, it will take you to and connect to where home is. Sorry, I'm just getting a bunch of messages at the same time. So I've talked before about snapshot moments. That's something that I practice regularly. Snapshot moments is where, in a positive moment, when something is happening that I am enjoying, that I like, I take in all of the senses. What does it taste like, smell like, feel like, sound like? Everything I can experience and feel, I internalize from that moment, so that when I need to, I can say, I need a snapshot moment. And usually when I'm sad or stressed or frustrated, I'll say, I need a snapshot moment. And then right away, my brain provides me with a snapshot moment. Same thing goes with Take Me Home. I don't totally understand because I haven't actually practiced this myself, but this is the messaging that I'm hearing. For many of us, our soul cluster, our soul connection comes from a space than in this physical. Okay, I'm getting all this overlapping. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that it's all folding. Space folds. I am not a quantum physicist. I am not, this is just the messaging I'm hearing. That space folds in on itself. Time, space folds in on itself. In any given moment, any given time, we are both here, in the here and now, in this physical body, and we are also in our soul family, divine collective consciousness, collective wisdom. We are connected both at the same time. So we are like a soul experience in a human body. And at any time, we can connect back to that soul experience. So when you are feeling alone, when you're feeling, like things aren't quite the way you need them to be, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling let down, whatnot, you can ask, connect me home, connect me to that soul family, connect me to that collective wisdom, divine consciousness, connect me. And it's instantaneous, just like the puddle jumping. It's instantaneous, where you can feel like you are connected to that divine place and the divine being. So a couple layers to that. When you're feeling out of place, check the vibrational energy of what's around you, and then connect to higher vibrational energy. Plants, just a simple little plant can help connect you to higher vibrational energy. Anything natural, feet on the ground, feet in the dirt. Your breath, I just heard, connecting to your breath can connect you to higher vibrational energy. Simply willing for you to be connected to higher vibrational energy connects you to higher vibrational energy. If you say, I want to elevate my vibration, boom, our vibration is elevated. It might not stay there unless we practice, but we have that power. It's instantaneous. It's so fascinating how I'm just feeling all this, like the instantaneousness of the power that we have. It just feels so vast. It's like this giant, I keep getting distracted because it's just like, whoa, this like huge, giant, vast shift. But when you think about it on this level and plane, if you look at one thing, you're looking at that. If you look at something there, you're looking at something there. It's instantaneous. Both things are still there. Both things still exist. You're just choosing where to focus your attention. So you can shift your focus instantaneously. You can elevate your vibration instantaneously. You can also connect to other forms and parts of you at any time instantaneously. I'm just going to check the chat because I can see that there's been some chatting here, and I want to hear all the comments too. Sharon, I'll wait till I'm ready to take people's names, and then I will take your name, but I'm not quite ready yet. And Dee, starseed info, yes. I feel that too with the not feeling at home here. I feel that crazy enough with my name. I always feel like I'm lying when I say my name. When I call myself Nancy Inspired, I feel less like I'm lying, but when I actually say my name, I always feel like I'm making it up somehow. It's the weirdest feeling. So if anyone hears a name I should be called, let me know. All right. Dee Dee, this is very common with starseeds. Learning about it made many things in my life experience make sense. Steve Noble. Yes, I've been listening to Steve Noble lately too. And I feel like that has helped me as well. It's hard to find others. Oh, sorry, it keeps jumping. It's hard to find others that feel this as I've been searching. Hard to connect with fake people. Yes. Yes, I absolutely have a hard time. Not so much fake people. It's a lower vibrational frequency, because this is what I'm hearing to tell you about that. Interesting. I was about to say something about that, and then I got sidelined with, nope, this is what you need to say. Everybody has the ability to connect to higher vibrational energy. So just some people choose to, and some people don't. And so when you're having a conversation with somebody that is at a lower vibrational frequency, either the conversation, the situation, or the person at that moment in time, you're not going to resonate with it, right? However, at a different moment in time, that person might be resonating at a different frequency. So it's not necessarily that person all the time. I do also hear that there are certain people that are placed in our path in order to help us to elevate our frequency. And the way that they are put in that path is almost like a stark contrast. We're like, I don't want to be like that, so I'm going to elevate my frequency. Or this person causes me challenge, causes me pain, causes me whatever. So I have to rise above it and elevate my frequency. So sometimes people are put in our path with that low vibrational energy for the very purpose of helping us to learn and to rise into our own vibrational energy. There you go. Novita's basically saying the same thing. There are no fake people, simply still asleep, still unaware, or still living without connection to their soul. Or it's fluctuating, right? I am certain that there are times that I have talked to people and they might have thought that I was, a fake person because I was, vibrating at a lower frequency at that moment in time. And then in a different given time, I'm elevated in my frequency and I'm going to come across differently. So, but there are some people that are put in our path. Okay, I'm also hearing to tell you that our intuition is a tricky thing, because our intuition sometimes is the very thing that guides us to the things that we learn, right? That we need to learn. Now, soul lessons, when you think about the things that you've learned, usually they're not the things that come the easiest to us. They're things that we have to kind of work through, puzzle, try, and then we're able to do it, right? It doesn't have to be painful and difficult, but it's usually something that we're challenged by a little bit that allows us to learn. Our intuition is like, whoa, like a little beacon in our third eye going, I need to learn truth telling. And so you're going to be put into situations over and over and over again where you have to tell the truth. I need to learn to know my own worth. You're going to be put into situations over and over again. Your intuition's going to find them like a little magnet. Oh, I need to know my own worth. Oh, look, here's another situation where I have to exercise knowing my own worth. For me, it's boundary setting. I get put into situations all the time where I have to set boundaries, big ones, small ones, everything. I'm getting pretty good at it now, actually. Maybe once I master it, then I won't get tested that way. I'll get something else. But our intuition is often leading us. So sometimes we're like, but it felt so right. But it felt so perfect. It felt so, like I was so drawn to it. It was like magic, right? That situation, that job, that relationship, that whatever. I was so drawn to it. It was like magic. Well, that was because your third eye is saying, I need to learn boundary setting. Oh, look, here's a perfect person that's going to test my boundaries. And so we are intuitively attracted to that person because it's the very thing that we need to learn. And so when we say, but I had such a good feeling about it, intuitively, I just knew. Well, you did know, and you learned, and you had that situation. Was it bad? Maybe it wasn't pleasant. I have some situations in my life that I'm like, oh, I could have done without that. But by saying that, if I did do without that situation, would I be who I am today? Would I be able to empathize in the way that I can empathize? Would I be able to, know all the things that I know if I hadn't have been in those situations, right? I mean, sure, I'd love my intuition to lead me into some really wonderful, and I just, as I'm saying that, I heard, oh, stop, it already does. So yes, my intuition leads me to wonderful things too. Oh, goodness. But yes, sometimes the things that just feel like they were so right, that would made so much sense, everything was so great, and it didn't really turn out. Well, we have to ask ourselves, what was the person? What was that person for? What was that message for? What was that learning there? And how am I a better person now because of it, right? And then bring in the puddle jumping. If you're ruminating and feeling resentful or feeling lonely or feeling like it didn't work out or feelings of guilt, I often go to places where I feel like, man, did I ever make a bad choice back then? I could have had this and instead I chose this. I can puddle jump and go, you know what? I'm going to focus on the fact that I have choices now I can make. I can do things now to make things the way I want them to be, right? And I can puddle jump, right? And I see that our intuition also tells us when we get to leave 100%. It's like, okay, you've learned your lesson. You've done enough. It's time for you to go now. Absolutely. That perspective helped me reconcile intuition with bad situations. That really helped me to evolve. Exactly. It's helped me a lot. I still go there. I still go there, right? This is all messaging I need to, because I still like, why did I do that? But when I look back on that, I was like, wow, if I hadn't done that, look at all the stuff that I've learned as a result, right? I appreciate this channeled wisdom so much. Thank you, Jay. Yovita, I married a man who turned out to be a narcissist. Me too, only to learn to put my boundaries, hold them, and learn my own strength. Happily divorced now and have amazing. You know what, Yovita? I could say ditto, And not only that, but I learned to be okay on my own. I realized, okay, and I'm hearing that this is important for some people, through my experience with a poor relationship, I'm going to say a couple of poor relationships, I've now learned that I don't need external validation anymore. And as a result, I've become way stronger than I ever was before. And so because of that stuff, I've grown into the person I am today that I'm very proud of, and yeah. I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Jen, for the donation. I appreciate that. It is so liberating to learn when we don't need external validation. 100%. I needed external validation to kind of a ridiculous degree. And now I feel like I love the validation. Like even when I'm doing readings and stuff, when I see the hearts or someone says, yes, that resonates. Yeah, it feels good to know that I'm hitting the mark. But at the same time, I don't need that anymore. I love it and I appreciate it. But yeah, there's a freedom. There's a freedom in being able to not need that external validation. Okay, moving on. Next bit of messaging. Sip of water. Okay, interesting. I don't do divination. I don't do like telling you what's going to happen. But I just am hearing that there's right now we are experiencing, and maybe someone who knows stuff about the planets and whatnot and how things align. What I'm hearing is that there is a shift experiencing right now, and there is a rift being caused. So it's almost like this, like a slice coming down, and it's like, well, are you going to be on this side or this side? Now, it's not that definite. Are you going to be on this side or this side? And I'm not talking apocalyptic, like it's actually slicing the world in half. But what it is be aware of what you are aligning your energies with. So that at any given moment, you are more connected to love than the lower vibrational energies like fear, anxiety, hatred. I just heard loathing, and those kinds of things. When you can connect to that love piece, when you can stay, so you can be frustrated, you can be angry, you can be like, hey, that's not okay, but you're still coming from a place of acknowledging self-love, acknowledging love with boundaries, acknowledging that that person is struggling, but I don't need to be anywhere near them. But coming at things from a place of love. So rather than coming at things from a place of anger and resentment, because as we build anger and resentment, that wave of anger and resentment can suck us in, right? As we're experiencing it, as we feel it, it can suck us into that. Whereas if you constantly try to turn around into that place of love, grounding yourself into love, so that even when things are crappy, someone's doing something you don't like, someone's not treating you well, you ground yourself in a place of love, you set a firm boundary. There doesn't have to be any hatred or negativity or anything like that. It's just, nope, here's my wall, here's my boundary. I'm going to love you enough to set a boundary so that I don't get mad at you, so that I don't tell you off, so that I don't whatever. I'm going to set that boundary. I'm going to take that space so that I can be grounded in that loving place. And I'm hearing that now more than ever, it's really important to be grounding ourselves in that place of love. So when you find yourself in a position of feeling angry or resentful or whatnot, root that into love, especially into self-love. And then, set the boundaries you need to set. So when I'm saying stand in a place of love, that does not mean accept everything that, oh, it's okay, you can, hurt my feelings, you can hurt me, it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you ground into love and go, okay, there's no room for hatred or malice, but there is just going to be a nice big boundary, a nice big wall, and I'm going to love myself enough to separate myself from this situation, or being treated this way, or being spoken to this way, or whatever, and setting that boundary. And I am hearing that it's actually loving them, because if you're caught in a loop of they make you mad, you get mad, they get mad, you're both mad, right? That's not helping anybody. Whereas if you set a boundary, remove yourself, you are loving yourself enough to and loving them enough to be like, okay, I'm not going to burden you with my anger and frustration. I am going to stay in this place of love, and let you stay in your place of love. And here's the wall, so that we can have a nice solid boundary. I love it. All right, Ginger, I'm going to love you enough to set a boundary. Exactly. Not always easy to do, but 100%. And then Saturn ended in Aries today, new moon in Gemini. I don't know what it means. If anyone wants to add to that, I would love to know more about that, because it's something I've always wanted to learn about. But I think, it's interesting because of the messaging that I'm getting. I find that as I try to learn about things, I'm almost stopped from learning about them, because I don't want it to taint the messaging I get. Because I get the messaging, and then I found out later that it links to what's going on. And I'm afraid sometimes that if I dive in too deeply and try to unpuzzle things that way, that it might affect the messaging. But I do certainly love hearing about it, so please feel free. So Saturn, structure and time and karma. Well, this whole bit of collecting messaging is all about time, for sure. All right. Oops. Whoa, and now I'm throwing things around. Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the I can't talk. The warrior and initiator. Okay, big shift. I'm an Aries. And I always say I'm strong like water, in that I can nurture and nourish, and I can also bore a hole through concrete if I have to over time. All right, I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to